What would you say to a person that believes in another religion than Christianity and says that the New Testament is not in fact reliable?
I'd say the New Testament is supported by evidence that it is reliable. What is that evidence? If you're going to raise the question of historical reliability, I think that's good. But you better think, and you better come up with some tests that you use to determine historical reliability on any document. For myself, I've come up with 4 tests. Nothing magical about them, but I use them on the Quran, the Bhagavad Gita, the teachings of Siddhartha Gautama Buddha, European history, African history books, US history books. So I use them consistently. The 4 tests to determine historicity are literary style. Is it once upon a time in the land of Nod, Wynken, Blynken, and Odd took a boat ride? Is that history? Is that historical narrative? No. That is called fairy tale. All right? Are the Gospels once upon a time in the land of Nod? Jesus took a boat ride? No. The Gospels are at this time, in this place, with these people around to witness this event, this occurred. It reads like the New York Times, the LA Times. It's historical narrative. That is the literary style. Second test, archaeology. Are we talking about the island of Atlantis that Jesus ran around on? No. We're talking about Bethlehem, Nazareth, Jerusalem, Rome. Archaeologically verifiable places. Third test, internal consistency. Are these eyewitnesses contradicting each other? If they are, we got a problem with the text. I sure do. When you read Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, there are no contradictions. Are there different perspectives? Yes. Is there one angel in an empty tomb versus 2 angels in an empty tomb in a different gospel? Yes, there are. But the gospel that records that there is one angel never says there was only one angel. It's a different perspective, which is totally valid. We want different perspectives on any history. Fourthly, and most importantly for me personally, is how do we know that we have what those eyewitnesses wrote? Today, the New Testament that we have in English is based on over 5,700 Greek manuscripts or pieces of manuscripts dated from the 2nd through the 10th century AD, all agreeing to an infinitesimal degree. Does that mean the Bible's a word of God? No, absolutely not. Does that mean that the Gospels are historically reliable? Yes, absolutely yes. Well, come on, Cliff, show me that the Bible's a word of God. I can't. It's impossible to show that any book is the word of God. How do you do that? It's impossible. But can I show you that the Gospels of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John are historically reliable? Yes, sir. So, if you're a skeptic, fine. But at least be open-minded and read the Gospel simply as history and ask yourself, does the historical evidence point to Jesus being a fraud? If it does, reject him. But if the Gospels point to the sanity, the reliability, the credibility of Jesus Christ, you better put your faith in him. Because what he claims is far too extreme for you to ignore him.
What would you say to